I went through a video of Sushil sir in YouTube. So he has suggested some topics for the essay, like 10 topics and so yeah. So I prepared for all those 10 topics. And fortunately, one of the topics came from that only, like the artificial intelligence role. So it was very helpful. Yeah, regarding the interview, I had actually taken up the mock interview session provided by Exambi. So
Okay.
it was very helpful. And there itself, sir and ma'am highlighted some key areas to look upon, and I prepared those topics rigorously. And for paper two, I relied completely on exam B.
Hello everyone, welcome to iExamB. Today we have Punyabrat with us and he has recently cleared SEBI exam as an IT officer. Congratulations Punyabrat from the entire iExamB team. How are you feeling?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I'm feeling very happy. It was a lot of days of hard work, and it finally paid off. So I'm really happy.
Okay, so how did you get to know about SEBI exam?
Yeah, actually, while I was working in the private sector, so I was looking for more opportunities where I can make a more meaningful impact. So while pondering upon such opportunities, I got to know about the SEBI Grade A exam actually, and then I got to know that there is also an IT stream there. So then I realized that it would be a very good opportunity for me to give a good try, and it came off. So I'm really happy.
Okay. So Punyabrat, can you tell us a little bit about your profile, your background and where you worked?
Yeah. So I did my bachelor's in computer science, BTech in computer science, and I passed out in 2022. After that, I worked for 2 years in an e-commerce startup,
Okay.
and while working there, towards the end, I decided to prepare for CB. So then I left my job and I prepared. And prior to that, I had some internships, some research internships in the machine learning background. And yeah, that's the brief on my profile.
Okay. So, how did you get to know about SEBI IT exam? So, was it YouTube or Google search? So, how did you came across it?
Yeah, actually, it was through YouTube only. Actually, I was looking for opportunities in the computer science stream in the government sector. So then
Okay.
I came to know that about the SEBI IT exam, and I also got to know about other exams like NABARD IT and all also from YouTube itself. So that's how I came to know.
Okay. So, you were preparing full time, or were you also taking up small assignments along with your preparation?
Actually, I was for phase while preparing for phase one and phase two, I was working, but
Okay.
after that, actually, I had quit my job, and during the interview phase, I was preparing it full time only.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about phase one, phase two, and then interviews. Let's go one by one, all these stages. So, how did you prepare for all these, and what all sources did you use?
Yeah. So, ma'am, for phase one, as we know, there are two papers. So, for the paper one, the quant and reasoning part was relatively easy. So, I just prepared from YouTube itself, and same as for English. Regarding the current affairs part, I referred to some online websites like Cloud Affairs and all for to keep up to date with the current affairs. And for paper two, I relied completely on Exambi. So actually, I had lost touch in with a lot of topics of my bachelor's. So I took the course of Exambi, and I prepared for all the subjects from the material provided by Exambi. And yeah, that's how I prepared for phase one. Yeah.
Okay, so that material, were you also using any other sources, or the material was enough for you to prepare?
No, no, it was enough. Actually, the paper two is such like you don't have to go through all the topics, so you can be strong in some particular topics, and then you can qualify. So
Yes.
that was my strategies, that I would prepare strongly on my areas of expertise, and I completely focus on the single material only from my exam.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
coming to phase two, there are again two papers. So how did you prepare for those?
Yeah. So first of all, regarding the English paper, actually, I went through a video of Sushil sir in YouTube. So he has suggested some topics for the essay, like 10 topics and so yeah. So I prepared for all those 10 topics, and I just wrote some lines on them, some important points regarding current affairs. And fortunately, one of the topics came from that only, like the artificial intelligence role. So it was very helpful. So for English, I prepared in that way, and I also gave some mock test in exam B in the English paper. And for the coding paper, actually, I had already done a lot of coding in my bachelor's, so I was quite confident in that. So I just uh, went through some of the basic topics of data structures and algorithms, and practice some of the basic problems to just revise my concepts, and that's how I prepare for the coding part.
Okay. And what about your interview preparation? How was your interview preparation? How did you go for your preparation?
Yeah, regarding the interview, I had actually taken up the mock interview session provided by Exambi. So
Okay.
it was very helpful. And there itself, sir and ma'am highlighted some key areas to look upon. And I prepared those topics rigorously. And yeah, other than the topics, I was just aiming to be confident and give an honest interview. If I don't know something, then I just said that I didn't know the particular topic. I was not in touch with them. So that's how I prepared for the interview.
Okay. And how was your actual interview?
Yeah, so the actual interview was actually, it started well. Then in the middle, they asked me some tough questions. So
Okay.
yeah. So whatever I knew, I actually answered, and whatever I didn't know, I just honestly said no. And towards the end, also it went well. So they started off with some basics question like HR questions, like why do you want to join SEBI, and what is your previous background? You were in a high salary job, then why are you leaving that? So those questions were asked. After that, they went deep into areas like cybersecurity, then machine learning. Yeah, and yeah, some of the questions were asked from them. And later on, they also asked me to suggest what kind of improvements I can suggest for SEBI, like regarding the SEBI's website and all. So I give them my viewpoints. And later on, they asked if I had any questions for them. So I just asked like what kind of technologies SEBI uses for different kinds of for the different fields they work on. So that was the flow of the interview.
Okay. Okay. And Punyabrat, was this your first exam in the government sector, or have you also appeared for other
No,
exams?
no, this was my first attempt.
So you cleared the first exam in the first attempt.
Yes.
So that is really good. So Punyabrat, during your preparation, did you face certain points that you feel you can guide the other aspirants for? Certain things that you feel others should do or should not do?
Yes, ma'am. Regarding phase one, as I already pointed out, both in paper one and paper two, as there is no sectional cutoff, so it is advisable that you pick some of your strong topics and try to clear the overall cutoff. So that was my strategy, even in paper two of the phase one. I left out some of the topics which I was not comfortable in, but the other topics I made sure that I prepared them rigorously. Is that focus more on your strong points in the phase one exam. And regarding regarding phase two, English becomes a very key point, a key paper, because many of my peers, they had also done well in the coding part, but I think they did not got selected because of the English paper, because the
Right.
English paper didn't go well. So I think for English, you should prepare some like at least five topics, the hot topics that is currently trending. You should prepare some essays on them, and you should also give some mock tests of English, because in the English paper I realized that the time becomes a very important factor. So my focus was to complete the paper, not to give the best answers, but to complete the paper, because towards the end there are 5 6 questions in the paragraph. So if try to give the best answer for each question, then it would take a lot of time. So instead, my focus was on completing the whole paper so that I get good enough marks. And for the coding part, I think practice is the only option. You have to practice a lot. Practice some of the topics that are very common are like strings, then stacks, queues. Those topics are very important. And I would also advise that you should know at least two languages, either any of the two languages, because sometimes it is helpful to know two languages. Because even in my coding part, I was facing some issues while taking input in Python. So then I switched to C++, and then it got completed. So yeah, that's the advice for the coding paper. And for the interview part, I think Yeah, you have to prepare the different topics. First of all, there is the HR questions you have to prepare. Then you have to prepare about the organization itself, SEBI. What is SEBI doing, especially in the IT sector? What are their different applications? What are the different projects that they have taken up in the IT domain? And after that, you have to also brush up your core subjects like the data structures, machine learning, whatever you have worked on. And you must also prepare thoroughly your previous work experience profile, whatever projects you have worked on, because they are going to ask on it. So this will be the basic areas to look upon in the interview.
Right, right. So, Punyabrat, when you were preparing for SEBI, at any point of time, did you feel that something you were doing, you should change your strategy, or did you just focus on a single strategy and followed that?
Yeah, actually, while I was in my initial phase of my preparation, I was trying to, as I said, I was trying to cover all the topics for paper two. So there are a lot of topics in CS. So later on, I realized I saw some of the previous year questions. So I realized that it is not necessary to prepare all the topics. You can leave out two, three topics, but you have to make sure that the other topics that you are focusing on, they are quite strong. So that is one thing I improved upon to prepare more effectively. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, Punebra, that's really great insights and I think a great discussion with you. So, that is most of the things that I wanted to know how you prepared. And that's thank you so much for sharing your journey with us and your time also. And once again, congratulations from our team. So,
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.